Well, good morning my YouTube friends, it's Margaret again from M.E.s Orchids, and you might wonder what I'm doing in the kitchen today. Well, I've actually been in the kitchen an hour just preparing to repot this Hoya, and this is Hoya archboldiana pink, and I acquired this last September, and if you remember, I broke off a nice piece which I put in some sphagnum moss, and that did have little roots. Can you see those little tiny roots there? Excuse me. And so watching M.E.s channel last night, sorry I don't know if the camera's straight, is it? Let's see if I can straighten you up. Sorry about that. I'm wanting to get you as close as I can for the simple reason it's a big Hoya, and this came in that coconut chips, and I've not repotted it. All I did was actually in one of these open type baskets just place some Orchids bark around it, and because it's an absolute horror this is to get off the roots. But I noticed this morning after watching M.E.s channel, I thought, oh God, I must get that Hoya potted up into my mixture. And so can you see how nice the roots are coming? So what it's soaking in now, I've bought this, and this is fairly new. Vitalink Calmag. There we go. It's a litre bottle. This'll last me my lifetime. Let me just show you. I've got to be careful because, and you see, let's just slightly raise it. Sorry about that. There we go. You're going to be able to see that. Is it showing it or isn't it? Anyway, so I barely put 1/4 teaspoon, and it came up to 180, which I'm fine. I've no problem with 180. Because I thought, well, it's easier in some ways doing this whilst it's wet. I've done a mix ready here, which is cactus and bonsai mix. It's Orchids bark, perlite, lava rock, and there's some grow stones. And I've already prepared the pots. I've washed the pots, sterilised the pots, and I've made the frames that go with them. So now this one has only got 2 runners. Normally they put 3 in, and you see the root system. It's a very nice plant. Those are those little roots I'm talking about. Can you see them? But this is a plant that weeps. Now where have I put my little tool? And what do I mean by it weeps? Now, goodness gracious, what have I done with my little... It's here. Can't manage without this. Well, if you damage the leaves at all, it's like... what do I call them in the garden? And they have the white sap. So yes, you've only got to touch them. Can you see all these nice new roots? Look at this. You see? And those are the ones that I really don't want to lose. Some of these older roots here, I'm fine. But you see, can you see? This is inevitable. There's nothing you can do about this. When they come in this type of mixture, either they come actually growing in coconut husk, or this is growing in coconut chips. See if I turn it round. Can you see? So what do? You painstakingly, and I mean, try and remove it. This is one of the reasons I didn't do it. I've done it once, well, with all the Hoyas. Absolutely dread it. Because there's nothing, you will damage the roots. But what do? Because it can't stay in my environment through the winter. Can you see all that there? It can't. But then again, I mean, I suppose in some ways I'm experienced enough now that I'd probably just have to water it once a month, if that. You see, see. Let me see. Tell you. Then you wonder why I don't like doing it. Right, so we've got a big gaping hole now. See, it has, I think I've said this before, they have like roots that leader roots. See, I've got one here. And then you see this one here. And there, see. And then they send out these little fine roots. So those are the ones that I try and not damage. Oh. Absolutely hate this. And some might think, oh, we'll just go and rip the hell out of it. But you can't, you see, because these roots, these are all good roots. See, I'm up here now. So these are all, see, look at this healthy root here. And you can't rush this process at all. You've got to try. Well, you know me with roots. You know, you've got to preserve as much root as you can. And then, I mean, you can sacrifice some. These little, as I call them, aerial roots. You see if I look, can you see under there now? Can you see? Can you see these nice roots, these thicker ones? Well, from those thicker ones, branch these little tiny ones. I mean, I suppose in some ways I could have left this in this media, but at some point I would have had to have removed all this and put it into my media. I mean, all the Hoyas that I've got now, they've all adjusted into my media. And they've started growing. So, and watching M.E.s channel, I just thought, well, here goes. Here goes. See there? See that nice leader one there? This one here, see, it leads into this one. Right, so let's have a look. If I can open this one. you see? Absolutely wonderful. Look at all these. Right, I've got 18 minutes before this camera cuts out. So it's a miserable day here today. Wow, it's November. What can you expect? We live in England. The clocks have gone back, so that means by 4:30 it's dark. And right. Like I say, these are the roots that I'm wanting to save. The little aerial roots, it doesn't matter, because it'll produce new ones of those. Try and keep these nice, thicker roots. Look at that under there. Tell you, you have to have the patience of Job. And I hardly water these, you know. In fact, this was absolutely bone dry this morning. But I can't afford to water it because it would have damaged it. Right, let's see if I can just remove some of this. And you see, get in the middle. See, just by that little watering this morning. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is see if I can release some more of this, these roots round here. See, this is how they gather round the pot. Can you see? And if I can just gently, look at that, lovely. Prise some of these away without doing too much damage. I mean, I did have this hanging in the grow room, but the way that I've done the pot, which I'll try and show you after. So anybody who's got any of these Hoyas, when they come like this, don't be afraid to repot. Don't be afraid that that it won't recover. It'll take a while, this will. It'll take a while. But I know it's accepted my environment because it started to grow. I've just got, see there, you see that nice root? So that's coming from this area here. And then come the spring, well, the pot I'm going to put it in, I mean, it's going to be big enough for a few years. bear with me a minute. Right, I'm still battling through. Some of it's coming away easily enough. Can you see the nice roots? I mean, I'm not bothered if I don't get every bit off. Not worried about that. It's just what if I can get the majority off. There we go. Let's have a look round here. What are we dealing with? See, that nice root there. See, the trouble is, when you're doing something like this, you're that darn anxious, and it takes such a while. The patience that's needed, I can't tell you. That's why I had to prepare everything before. I mean, getting the terracotta pots cleaned, they would come out of the garden, cleaned and sterilised. Then I've got the frame that I now use to for the Hoyas to grow round. So I had to go into the garage and get all that, and then cut that to size. But I just thought this morning, I was wanting that CalMag to come yesterday, and it didn't, so I did my own mixture up yesterday. Well, I've used my own mixture anyway, so and they're doing all right with that. But I just thought I'd try this CalMag. Tell you what, it's very strong, so I'm glad I only decided to put a little in at a time. Right. See if I can get these. See, the thing is with this now, and you see, the roots have just gone round and round and round. It came in one of those little plastic pots, and they just go round and round and round and round. Oh, and I've got some little alien plants in here as well. Don't know what they are, so they'll have to be thrown away. I mean, they could have come from Thailand or Singapore. That's how things get over here, and be not careful. Like Roger said yesterday over the CITES, and are we guilty? Right, just hold on. Right, yes, talking about Roger and CITES, but I mean, these countries, it's like the deforestation in the Amazon. And I say to Keith, but he says, well, you know, you can't blame these countries. He says they're poor, and the people are poor, so if they've got a commodity that the world wants, and we're the ones to blame, not those people, not the people who live there. They only want to have a taste of what we've had. So, and it's like with orchids, you know, they're honey, it's only supply and demand. So, right, now let's just have a quick look at this. Let me see that now. Let me see. It's not bad, is it? There's a little bit down here, but I think really the root system will be fine. So let me just this here. Let's show you what I've taken off. And you see all that. I mean, there are some good roots, like I say. What can you do? There's not a lot you can do. And so I'm just going to hold this up gently, just probably in this CalMag mixture. You never know, I might get one or two more little tiny bits off, because I can't help myself. Especially just here. Oh, it's like matted hair. Got a piece here somewhere. And you see it just in there. I mean, some of the other Hoyas that I've had, I've been very fortunate in the sense that I've been able to get 3 divisions. 2 have kept intact, and 1 I've been able to grow as a separate plant. So at some point in the future I can swap or trade those. Right, that's it. I've learnt from the past, you know, don't hack it to death. Right, so just bear with me a minute now. Right, I've got 6 minutes. Okay, so there's the orchid. This is what it's going in. And this is the frame that I make. And you see. And then these tie together afterwards. And then, so that's this one for the big one. And then I've got this one for the small one. Okay, it is a little bit awkward to do because these things get in your way. But we pull them back like that. See if I can just put a little bit of ballast at the bottom just to stop it maybe just falling out. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? Sorry about that. Okay. This is the most difficult part because you've got to try and manoeuvre it in this frame and manoeuvre your leaves through without breaking them. So, and because these are the big leaves, I've got to be so careful. Because the frame's wanting to fall. This is where you want your third hand. Because what I don't want to do is to actually crack these leaves. Let's see if I can get it in there. And then I've got that one here. Right. you see what you can do then is once you've got it inside your frame, you can just hold it up with one of these little clips, and then that allows you then to bring it together. I think this leaf will have to go just here. Keep that there. Keep that one there. That one over there. Right. Right. So I'm partially able to show you what I've done so far. Okay. So you can pull this frame back and get it into position. And see those new roots there? Can you see there? What I'm going to do now off camera is just manoeuvre all this soil through here, and you see what I'm doing here, and then I'll close this frame up. You see there? See how I close the frame? And I'll close this frame up there, and you see how big the frame is? And there's still another part, so all this will close up here. There we go. Now if it'll allow me to do this off camera and come back, I will do. Right, well actually, can you see the area that I've got to bring together? Now sometimes it won't allow you to, so with this frame I've got here, this netting, I'll cut a portion of it and then I extend the area there. But can you see now? See, it's quite firm in there. That root can easily find its way down, and I've got no leaves that are actually weeping. See, that came with that mark there. So this is how it's going to appear, and then this afternoon I'm hoping to do just a video of the grow room. See that one, even though it's inside, I would have preferred that to have just been outside. And sometimes what you have to do off camera, you just try and manoeuvre it, but you've got to be careful because they're brittle. So rather than try and get it through one of these spaces, I'll probably just leave it like that. So thank you for joining me, and as I say, it's a bit of a difficult job, and then I've got baby to do now, but I don't think you'll want me to take you through that process. So later on in the grow room I'll show you it all finished. And like I say, thank you for joining me. Bye now.